Let's get started with the biggest story of the weekend, one that shook up the nation regarding a race for the White House, which is just over 100 days from now. I'm talking about the election. President Joe Biden has decided to bow out of the race and not seek re-election this November. Biden made the surprise announcement yesterday and quickly endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris as his favorite to replace him at the top of the Democratic ticket. I'll get to Kamala Harris in a moment, but I'd be remiss in neglecting to acknowledge Biden's decision to not seek a second term, bringing an end to one of the longest political careers in American history. Let me say this. He deserves credit for bowing out. Personally, I think it took too long. I think he should have been out weeks ago. I think in the immediate aftermath of that debate on June 27th, he should have bowed out. I think that there are people within his camp that clearly knew, people in his administration, people that worked for him, people amongst his family members. You all knew that there was slippage. And to put him out there in the position that they did, getting him exposed, not just to the national, but the international community, in the manner that he was egregious. We sit here today and you see a whole bunch of folks all over the airwaves praising him, bringing up his patriotism, his commitment to this country, his years of service, how he put country first, et cetera, and none of that is to be summarily dismissed. I certainly respect it, and I want everybody to know that. But I said it before, and I'll say it again. To walk around acting like folks were insulting him, no, we went by what we saw. Whether he was talking, whether he was walking, when he showed up to the debates and looked as bad as he looked, that's when we saw it. Folks close to him, you've been saw it. You knew it. And you tried to slide that through the American people. And then it ultimately got exposed. And now here you want to come with this song and dance about his patriotism and what have you. Yes, it's not a song and dance where he's concerned, but we don't want to hear from y'all. We are seeing pundits damn near in tears talking about what a great, great man he is and how difficult this was. Wait a minute. He was in the Senate for 36 years. He was the vice president for 8 years. He was the president for 4 years, 3.5 years to be exact, obviously planning to finish out his term, which he deserves to do, by the way. That would make 48 years of service. There is no crime. There is nothing to feel bad about telling somebody, hey, it's time. And Van Jones was on CNN, for example, a person that I have profound respect for, calling it tantamount to taking the keys away from your grandpa. Well, guess what? You don't cry when you have to do so. You're okay with the decision because you know it's for grandpa's betterment, because you're trying to save their life. And this was a situation in a roundabout way when it comes to President Joe Biden. You're not what you used to be. None of us are what we were when we were younger. It happens. It happens. And it's not about ageism because Nancy Pelosi is 3 years older than him and she's sharp as a tack. James Clyburn out of South Carolina, I believe is around his age, if not a little older. He's sharp as well, along with various others. There's no shame. So let's get that out the way. And let's stop walking around like such a tragedy has been done to President Biden. President Biden is not what he used to be. It doesn't mean that he can't finish out his term and remain president for the next 5 or 6 months. It means we don't need to be looking at him for 4 more years. He has people that he's allocated responsibilities to. They do their job. They bring stuff to his attention. And he doesn't need to be on a campaign trail. It doesn't need to be showing up to debates and having to really articulate and elocute himself in a way that's indicative of somebody who's young and significantly more vibrant. No, he doesn't need to do that, but he can remain in office for the next 6 months. And then afterwards, he walks away with liberals and Democrats all over the place, lauding and praising the job that he did. And you move on. This is not about his ego. This is not about his feelings. This is about the American people, this nation. And what we need to ensure that we'll get 4 more years of something similar and akin to him, as opposed to something similar or directly that is Donald Trump. That's what it's supposed to be. And you want to give yourself the best chance.